This video coming up is from Yale, in another poison ivy school. Give the itchies, right? As we're up against here.
Does give you like authority. No authority.
All right, what did you see in that video? That was basically a bunch of people who were standing arm in arm, preventing the Jewish student from entering campus. Right. So you have a guy who is dressed in traditional Jewish. He has a Jewish hat and things like that. Obviously Jewish. And then you have him being confronted and prevented from entering by a bunch of other students. Now, there was this is a very unsettling transition. Again, we have transitioned from, the rallies, you guys, the rallies started October 8th, basically. We helped organize one of the first rallies in New York and also in Washington, D.C. And there were rallies in New York and Washington, D.C. already on October 8th, calling for a ceasefire, calling for, celebrating what had happened, that Israel had been attacked and Israel had been defeated. And I had Jews who called me up on October 7th and October 8th that felt also defeated. And it took a bit for them to get back to where they felt like they were they were winning again. But it was very clear that in those early days that there was already stuff going on, stuff being prepared, well equipped, had talking points, had materials ready to go, and this was not, it came out of nowhere. Now we've gone from the calls for ceasefire to, like I said before, the celebration of Hamas, the celebration of what Hamas did on October 7th, the ongoing attacks against Israel from the north, from Hezbollah, but also, calls for celebrating when we'll kill another soldier, right? Like that's the kind of thing that the stage we're at. I'm old enough to remember Bill Clinton's affirmation of being pro-choice. And for him, it was, legal and rare, right? To the period that we're in now, where, there is call it almost a celebration of abortion and people self-identifying as pro-abortion. So we're in that phase. For me, I actually think the two issues are related. I am pro-life and I'm pro-Israel. And the reason that I'm that is because I think life is you get the basics of life wrong, you get a bunch else wrong. The two things that the UN hates above all else, babies in the womb and Israel. And I think those are related because first command of God to the world, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. And then the agents of bringing that knowledge into the world was the Jewish people, right? So the enemy hates babies and he hates Israel. And so if that's what the enemy of God hates, then I hate those two things. I stand with babies in the womb and I stand with Israel. I make that choice. Now, so here you have this guy being blocked at a school, Yale, an Ivy League school, but it's not unsimilar to something that happened a long time ago. And let me show you what I mean by that. This is from X, formerly known as Twitter. Here is a picture of Nazis in 1938 who are blocking students from entering a university. What's the difference here? Nothing. Okay. That spirit, people have said, "Oh, you can't defeat an ideology. You can't defeat an idea." And in some ways, you can't ultimately. Like it's an idea is in people's heads, but it manifests itself in different ways over time. So the spirit of Nazism was not destroyed in Germany. The Third Reich was destroyed, but the ideology of Nazism was not destroyed. Before October 7th, we spent a lot of time tracking and fighting and arguing against white supremacists, the neo Nazis. We held our counter demonstrations. Um, I'm the proud recipient of a 20-minute attack video posted by the Goyim Defense League against me. That's one of my great moments in life, that the neo Nazis hated me. Uh, and and then October 7th happened, and basically the 10 neo Nazis hanging out in their mom's basement are dwarfed by the hundreds of not I would call it Nazi sympathizers who are now camped out at places like Columbia, or blocking students at Yale. That is what the ideology continued, right? It's the same thing. And perhaps there are some that will come against me and challenge me on that, but I'm happy to have that debate every day of the week.